Salah, Muhammad, and Hamza. So alhamdulillah, we have a good team here. So for today, the topic that we're going to be talking about today is called, or is the Islamic identity in America. Personally, for me, I think this topic is a very beneficial one because growing up in the U.S., attending middle school, high school, college, and also graduate school here, you question your identity a lot. You question, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live in this culture? How am I supposed to tell people I have to pray, I have to fast, I have to do all these things? So I feel like this topic is very important. And now for most of you guys, starting school, inshallah, in the next upcoming week, you're going to have questions like these. Because a lot of time people will come to you like, why do you pray 5 times a day? Why do you fast during the month of Ramadan? Why can't you date? Why can't you do these things? And you have to have the answer. And you have to know what your Islamic values and morals are to be able to answer that question confidently and tell them this is why we can and this is why we have to do some things. So our speaker for today, obviously, is chugging water right now, but he doesn't need an introduction. Obviously, our beloved Imam, Sheikh Al-Hajj, he'll be talking about that. By the way, he bullies me a lot, so FYI, that he does that a lot. So what we'll do is, inshallah, we'll just have a little, Sheikh will go and give a little halaqah, and then after that, we'll have a Q&A session. The best part of the Q&A session is we'll have note cards to be passed around, so it'll be completely anonymous. Whatever you want to ask, we encourage you to ask, because there are some questions that like in front of your parents, you might not feel comfortable asking. But you can write them down, completely anonymous, we'll have Sheikh answer. But also, if for those questions, even if you still don't feel confident, you can also approach your Sheikh directly and have a conversation with him privately, as I've done for many times. But there were some things that I just didn't feel comfortable in asking. I would just go up to him, just call him, text him, whatever, and he would help me through that. So alhamdulillah, he's available for all you guys, and without any more wait, bismillah, go for it.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala amma ba'du. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I think it's a great honor and happiness seeing most of you after a long time, some of you after a long time, some of you I still see them from time to time. But it's always, alhamdulillah, a great, feeling when I see young people that used to sit with me and learn and come back and organize things, come back and argue with me, come back and have those moments. This is good. This is very, very good, and we need it because we are Muslims. Alhamdulillah, we live together, and we have to know each other. You have to know each other, and also you have to know our religion that put us together. So I'm very happy to be here with you all. But I want to also thank my friend, Zaid. Sometimes we are friends, sometimes we are not. Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of back and forth things, me and him. But alhamdulillah, he says he's doing a good job, and with the rest of the team, and I see them a lot, alhamdulillah, in the masjid, and seeing them in so many good things that makes me happy, and also it gives me hope. It gives me hope because the life is a chain. Part will go and the other part, will take place. So we are here today, and tomorrow we will not be here, and you're going to be responsible for that. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us. Going back to the topic. The topic is, our identity, I think. With youth, we as youth, our identity, inshallah, to know who we are, what we're supposed to be doing in this place. This is your place, this is your country, this is where you belong. There's a reason why you cannot limit Islam, or you cannot make Islam to belong to a certain place. Islam is for the whole entire world. And if you try to limit Islam in a certain place, you make Islam was not there for those people only. Islam is for everybody. Then I think it's very important for a person who is a Muslim in the land to know exactly what they need to make themselves stronger as Muslims in that land and grow with that. That's very, very, very important, because no one is going anywhere. Actually, you don't have anywhere to go but here. Okay? This is your land. And this is how Islam grows. All the Muslim countries that you see, they call them Muslim countries. They were not Muslim countries. But people of that land, they embraced the religion and they raised their children upon that religion, and now it became a Muslim country. So they introduced the identity, Islamic identity, to their children, and to their children till that country become like majority Muslims. So we need to do that, and alhamdulillah, YM is trying to do that. For us, we came with our religion, but for you, you are here, alhamdulillah, with your religion. This is where your story began. Your story began here, and your story has to, inshallah, have most part of it Islam. So when you go to a foreign where people think that Islam is foreign in that land, what happens is there are three things that will come. Three things that will come. All the time, there are things that they call in Arabic, Muslim that new things happen. New things happen. Each generation, they have new challenges that they have. And this is a fact. Maybe some brothers here or some older people here, they were challenged with things in the past that you guys, it's not a challenge for you anymore. But you are challenged with new things, So you need to know exactly how to deal with those things. If I bring to you what I was challenged with, it may not work for you. It may work for you. You may even need it. You may need it. So we need to bring you tools to use to fight with the challenges that you have at your time. So when that happens, people who are in that land, older or younger, they're going to be divided into three categories. And this is very important, into three categories. One category are the people who will just say, this, I don't care. I will not change anything. I will not think twice. That's it. The way it was, 40 years ago with my dad, the challenges, I will just use the same solutions to try to fix my challenge. That's one. The other one, they will not pay attention to the challenge. The challenge, they will not pay attention to that. The challenge can be controlling them, but not pay attention to it. The third one are the people who will think a solution for everything that comes. Every challenge that comes, they will think a solution for that challenge. And the best is the third group. Is the third group who wants a solution for every challenge that happens. Why? Because that's exactly what Islam is teaching us. Islam is teaching us. That's the reason why you as a Muslim who live here, your identity, the first thing to know is, you know that Islam is valid. Islam has solutions. Every time and each location, Islam has a solution. So Islam is a religion that is dry and doesn't have solutions for new things. Islam has the solutions for everything. That's the first thing you need to know. Whenever somebody introduces a solution for you in your life that is not from Islam, that is taking a big part of the religion. That is taking a big part of your religion. So you want to make sure the solutions are taken from your religion. I'll explain that more. So the first two groups, you will see them in a society. When they act or when they speak, it becomes very strange to the people. Because if I want to give you a solution that is really, old, with a challenge that doesn't exist anymore, that may not benefit you. I will keep talking, and that will not benefit. And I'm I'm talking about the challenges. I'm talking about the principles of the religion. Because the principles of the religion are the one that will bring us a solution that we need in our daily lives and also to overcome our challenges. So the second part, and I will walk through that inshallah. The third part is where you need a solution for every challenge that you have. And I'm going to be asking questions why I'm inshallah presenting. The first thing is that you are a Muslim. If I ask you today, if I ask all of you today, are you a Muslim? Everybody will say, yes, I am a Muslim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. But then, the second question that will come is, and I want this to be real, because whatever is in your heart should be seen outside. It's very important. It's very, very important. So if I ask you Muslim, you say yes. All of you guys, right? You are a Muslim. Good. So the second question will be, are you really proud of being a Muslim? Are you really proud of being a Muslim? Because if you are proud of yourself, you admire not but yourself. Right? And you admire people who are doing similar things or who are upon exactly what you're upon. Right? And this question will give us all the solutions. All the solutions. And I'm going to give an example. For example, if you are a soccer player, you love soccer, you love the players, and then you watch them, right? You try to do what they do. When you're in the field, you try to do what they do, right? If a basketball player, you do the same thing. You do the same thing because you admire what they're doing and you want to reach that level, right? So let's bring that down to our religion. Now, if we are proud Muslims, then we will be proud of what we have, which is ourselves, because our religion is within us. Okay, our religion is within us, and if we are not proud of ourselves, then we will look at something that will attract us and will lead towards that. And I'm very real here, because we're talking about what is in the hearts. We don't know. But we know the fact that if something is growing in a person's heart, sooner or later they will act upon that. Right or wrong? If something is in your heart growing, sooner or later you will act upon that. Right? So make sure that what is in your heart that is growing, you fight against. If it is something that is not making you proud of yourself, making you proud of yourself, right? So now, number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be on the land, to occupy the land. Every part of the land, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made every part of the land for you to occupy. Can we, if you don't, you can just give it away. If you can. Yes. So every part of the land, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to occupy it. And when you occupy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to make sure that His name is being mentioned there. His oneness also is being known into that place. Right? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you to be different generations, different schools, different workplaces, maybe only you. But you have, Allah has a reason for you to be in that place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a reason for you to be in that place. So if you are not proud of yourself, first, no one will be proud of you in that place. So first, you have to be proud of yourself. Not what you know or what you do, is be proud of yourself as yourself. It's because you are a Muslim. Because you are a Muslim. That will give you all the answers. Do you want to be known as a Muslim, or do you want to be known as anybody else? That's what the question is. Have fun. Do you want to be known as a Muslim? Yes, you're a Muslim, no doubt. But when people see you, do you want in your heart for them to know that you're a Muslim or not. So what that he said, he wants people to know that he's a Muslim. That gives you all the answers. That will lead you to the knowledge. What knowledge is what Islam wants you to do, you do it. So now if you want them to know you're a Muslim, and Islam is telling you do this, you don't have to talk. Just do it, they will know that you are a Muslim. And that makes it easy. You won't argue, because Islam tells you don't argue, right? You won't hurt somebody. Islam will not hurt somebody, right? You will not do anything wrong. Islam will not do it, right? So if you act, and this is where the problem happens, somebody who wants to be a Muslim but not want to be known, right? And somebody who is a Muslim and they want to be known as Muslims. Very important. And that's where Islam and Muslims are going to be, maybe have a little separation here. So if you are a Muslim and you want to be known as a Muslim, your words, they don't mean a lot. Your actions. Your actions. Let's take it very simple. Now, if you are at school, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to pray 5 times a day. Right? 5 times a day. If you're in class, the teacher is explaining, and your adab went off, or you know that it's a Dhuhr time. Dhuhr time right now, you're in the middle of the class. What would you do? There's a question I'm going to ask before you go. What would you do? You're a Muslim. Nah. That's the answer. Yes, I mean. Just walk out. Remember, I said there are 3 things in the beginning. People who don't really, who are dry, don't have any flexibility, right? And people who don't care about the circumstances, right? And people who think constantly and use Islam to come out clean without a problem. 3 things, right? And we always use those things. So we have 2 answers so far. The teacher is teaching. You have to make sure that you get out of the class and you go. We agree? We agree? We agree, right? But I disagree. Yes, I disagree. Because the first one and the second one have been used by you. I want to use the third one. I want to use the third one. There's something called in Islam. In Islam, there's something called rule. Al-Wusa'. Right? So whenever you are so dry, you don't think a lot, or you don't have the knowledge, you're going to make, they call it tahjir wasi'. So what was expanded like this, you're going to make it tight. And when you make it tight, you make it difficult. And when you make it difficult, you will not be able to practice it at some point. Because you're going to pray at that time, right? And then you graduate, become a doctor, right? And then you are in the middle of the surgery, right? And then while you're cutting somebody, the adhan go off. You have to implement the same thing that you implement in class. Is it going to work? While you're praying, can you stop because of the adhan came? But while you're students, learning the same thing to do, now you're contradicting yourself, right? Right? Good. Now let's take the third solution. There's something called tahjir al-wasi'. Whenever you, what is wide like this, if you want to make it this way, it becomes difficult. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Inna hada deen yusr. The religion is easy. And whenever you want to make it difficult, it will win you. You will lose. You will lose. Right? So now, from Dhuhr to Asr, right? You can pray your Dhuhr, but less reward. You know that, right? Between Dhuhr and Asr, you can pray your Dhuhr, but less reward, right? But now, you're playing, or you're playing a video game. And now the adhan, or you're watching a movie, you're watching a show, whatever. And now the adhan comes. Can you use the same thing to say, okay, the Sheikh said, between Asr or Dhuhr and Asr you can play, I'm going to continue playing. Can you use that?
No.
No, you cannot use that. So
You can pause
Yes, sometimes you don't want to pause it. But right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we understand exactly how Islam works. So we are not very dry and strange in the society. But at the same time, we keep our identity with us all the time. Right? So you're not hiding yourself in the class. Because Islam is telling you that haja that you have might qualify you to extend or to delay your salah at some point. Then you pray, right? So, but Islam does not tell you if you don't have any reason to delay your salah, you cannot delay your salah. That's what Islam says you have al-waqt al-mukhtar and al-waqt al-darura. Al-waqt al-darura. The chosen time and the time that will qualify you to delay, or the circumstance will qualify to delay the salah to a certain point, because the salah has 3 levels. One is al-ada ma'a waqt al-mukhtar, to perform the salah at a chosen time. The second one, al-ada fi waqt al-darura, to perform it in the waqt al-darura, the necessary time. And the third one is al-qada. The third one is to make up the salah. So all these 3 things Allah has given to us, but each one of them has a certain reward and a certain daraja. So this is an example. So the third group of people will be thinking a lot to make sure that they keep their Islamic identity, but at the same time to live in a society that they are in without a clash between their life and their religion. And those principles are being given and provided by your religion. We are not changing your religion. Did we change anything here? No. It's part of our religion. That's one. Number 2 is, when I ask a question, are you proud of your religion? You all said yes. So now you're going to be going to school and you're going to grow up. You will be in a position where, do you want to be identified as a Muslim, or you want to be identified as university student, right? Or any college. That's really important. So you first choose to be known first as a Muslim, and that will bring your name, because I think all of us, you either have Muhammad or Ali or Ibrahim, or right? That name is very important because it represents you, right? If you're being called Muhammad, the first thing that comes is Muhammad is a Muslim, right? But if you want to be called Mo, what does that mean? What does it mean? You're trying to hide something that was supposed to be there from the first place. So then make sure that when your name is being pronounced, make sure you teach them how to pronounce your name. So when they pronounce your name, they know you're Muslim. Right? You don't help them to twist your name. Even if they cannot pronounce it, make sure that you help them. It's very simple thing. It's very small. To help them to pronounce your name the way they want. But a time will come, people will confuse. Is this Muhammad, or what does it mean? Or is it Mustafa, or is it whatever names, how they change it. So make sure that your name, wherever you are, is being pronounced and regardless.
So
Brothers,
applaud it.
Okay, distract me.
Applaud it.
We make sure
What you have
that
to do is
your
in case
name is
6:45,
pronounced
because you don't make it back.
right. Because every parent, they work so hard to pick a name for you, to pick a
To
right
applaud it,
name
so
for you,
say
right?
there's pens
I have people
available.
who will come
Just
with
write down
10
your
names,
questions. You can have an
and they will say,
intermediary.
Sheikh, I have all these 10 names, can you pick one for me? That means a lot, because they want to give you the right name, the best name. So if your parents give you that best name, they pronounce it the best, I think you make sure wherever you are, you teach the people the right way. Don't let them pronounce your name the way they want, or let them pronounce your name the way that you want, or you want your name to be pronounced. That's very important. The third thing is, if you're a Muslim in this land, or wherever you are, you have to understand that a Muslim is controlled, and this word they don't like it, But a Muslim is dictated by two things. It's very, very, very important. And people will tell you, no, you live in America. No, 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 no. When the Quran was revealed, the Quran covers the whole entire world. It knows the whole entire nature of every place and every time. That's very important. So you know that your life should follow the direction of two things. And this is something you can compromise. Your life should follow the direction of two things. Number one is, what is number one? You want to guess? Number one is Al-Quran. And number two is the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That is enough for you. That is enough for you because those rules are enough. Don't let anyone to add more rules onto your, in terms of your religion. It's enough. So you make sure that you have a connection with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you make sure what you do it according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. These two things are very, very important in your life. You may not have the knowledge. But you may connected with somebody who has knowledge. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? So who among you is connected to somebody that knows the religion? That they can ask. Mustafa? Who else? Just raise your hand. Mustafa? And who else? Just raise your hand. Who is here is connected, because it's very important. If you're a soccer player, you're the coach, right? So they can coach you to be a good soccer player, right? And then you move forward. And that is very, very important to your life. In the middle of the night, if something you don't know, you have to have that courage to call that person at that time to ask them, or to come to them to ask them, as Zayd said in the beginning. And it doesn't have to be Sharhad, no. But it can be somebody that you trust, somebody that will tell you Allah said and Muhammad said, because that is very important to your life. So I'm going to ask again, who among you have that? Ibrahim, we have Yusuf, we have you. I think some of you, they are connected to me and all that. But we have Muhammad, and who else? Mustafa again. Ali. Who you connected to? Who you listen to? Who you follow? Me. Okay, good. Now I'm going to watch you now. I'm going to watch your hand. That's it. That's all I want. You want to be connected, not just connection, but you want to have that connection where you can directly talk to them and call them about your affairs. Sometimes you don't want to talk to your parents about certain things, but that person that you listen to, you want to make sure you connect with them and you ask them what Allah said about this. What is the right way to do about this? What is the best way to gain more reward? What is the best way to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The rest is okay, but this part of your religion is very, very, very important. And now you have to understand that you as a youth, you have your own life. You have your own life. But your life is very, very important to the whole entire ummah. Your life, even if you think that your life is your life, as they say, yeah, this is my life. No, don't think that way. That is a wrong way of thinking. This is my life, I do whatever I want to do. That is wrong. Because if you fall, you go down, many of us, or all of us, will look down. But if you rise, we're all proud. So this is how you have to look at your life. You have to understand that your life is very important to the people, to the Muslims in Mecca, to the Muslims in Pakistan, to the Muslims in Gambia, to the Muslims everywhere. Your life is very important. That motivates you. That teaches you to avoid making mistakes, right? That teaches you to avoid making mistakes. But if you think your life is your life and you decide for your own, you don't care about anybody else, time will come that will not help you. That will not help you. So you have to convince yourself that my life is very important. And my life is for every Muslim. I want to make sure that I make every Muslim be proud of me. Every Muslim will be proud of me. And that, if you have that, you will achieve so many goals in your life. So many goals in your life. Sometimes you see a name of a Muslim, they achieve something, but then you go in, you find out that they're not practicing Muslims. That makes it difficult to continue supporting because of the name, or to just say, no, I'm done. Do you want to be in the position? No. You want to make sure that you are the perfect Muslim and the person who achieved the most. And whenever people look at you, they see everything is good. Now you are going to be a reason for people to follow you, to do what you have been doing, to reach that level, because you have both. You have deen, and then you have also the dunya, and that will bring people on your life. But if you just focus on one thing, this dunya is limited. It's limited. And whatever you have, time will come, no one will care about what you have. But as long as you have it, and you have the religion, the dunya part will go down, age will come. The dunya part will go down, but your connection, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to go up, and up, and up, and you will never go down. Whatever you have, if you have knowledge, it's going to go down. If you have wealth, it's going to go down. If you are famous, you will reach a point that you're going to do what you could do before, you go down. But if you have all that with your deen, that may go down, but your religion goes up. Now let's go down to the practice. I have 5 more minutes to the practice. Now, you are a young person who lives in America, who lives in their own land. You live here. This is where you belong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose you to be here. What are you going to offer? How are you going to be in this society? What are you going to do in this society? Do you want to just be one person in a society that time will come, will take you, and you look back, you achieve nothing? You give back nothing. That is not what you want as a Muslim. That's the reason why when other people are working 10 hours, you need at least 11 hours. The other hours is donation to them. The other hours is donation to the nation, to the community, the society that you live in. That you live in. You want to work so hard. If you're at school, you want to be the best. It's very important. Whatever you do, you want to be the best. But if you are the best, it has to be based upon your religion. Based upon your religion. Islam teaches you how to have good manners, right? How to have good manners. If you're in a team, for example, you don't have good manners, then your reactions, your movement, what you achieve, whatever you do, you are not following Islamic, you are not following the lead of Islam. You are not. But if you are following what Islam tells you, you will be the best, because your akhlaq are going to be the best. The rest will be about the shubuhat that we have today. Shubuhat are the doubtful matters that will make a Muslim, a young Muslim, to be confused, to have a problem of deciding, to have a problem of what to say, and how to react. That's a shubha that's a challenge that we have in our time today. And these are shubuhat where you reach to a point that they reach to you and you don't know exactly how to respond or what to say or how to react. And this is very, very, very important. And that goes back to Islam. There's something that is right. Islam tells you it's right. You do it. And there's something and you support people who do that. And there's something that is wrong. Islam says it's wrong. You stop it. You don't participate in it. And also you reject it. You go against it. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, it's a principle I want each one to take with you home. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu. If one of you says wrong, something bad, something evil, they have to change it. They have to stop it. They have to change it, they have to stop it. And this has to teach you to know exactly the difference between wrong and right. If you don't know wrong and right, how do you know if it's wrong or it's right? So you need to know exactly what is wrong and what is right. And I want you to tell me 5 right things that we should support and 5 wrong things that in our time today. And 5 wrong things that we should definitely, if we have the power, we should stop it. Tell me 5 things. 5 good things that we should be supporting. Now,
Charity.
say it again.
Charity.
Charity. MashaAllah, there are people who are in need everywhere, right? You're driving, you see a homeless, for example. MashaAllah, if you have a dollar in your car, you have a quarter, you can take it and give it to them. I think we all should be supporting them because it's part of our religion, right? And if any person, any organization, any religion is doing that, yes, we already have in our religion. We should be supporting them based on our religion because the teaching is from our religion. So that's 1. Good. 2. Now, taqwa. Da'wah. Calling people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Calling the people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, we should be supporting them. Yes, everybody should be calling the people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 2, 3. But I want things that are really, being righteous and kind to your parents. That is something that we all should be supporting because it's part of our religion. You cannot disrespect your parents, right? How about if others are disrespecting their parents? Can you disrespect your parents?
No.
No, you cannot. You have to completely and absolutely respect your parents. Where it's coming from is from your religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said you have to respect your parents. We have 2 more. 2 more things. Good things. Now, respect Allah? Good. Of course, it's part of our religion. That's actually your religion. You just respect Allah, you're out of the religion. 1 more thing. How about coming to the masjid? How about coming to the masjid? Should we be texting each other? Oh, brothers, we're on Facebook, can we go to the masjid? We're playing games, can we go to the masjid? Is it something we should be supporting ourselves? We agree, boys?
Yes.
It's very low.
Yes.
Yes, right? That is everyday thing. It's part of our lives, right? And if we're not doing it, can we encourage one another to do it? Yes, we should be doing that type of thing. So how about the bad things that we should be really either have the intention of changing it or go against it? 1. Things that are related, are relevant with our problems. Give me 1. Ryan, focus on. Oh, everything is good, mashallah. Amen? Not saying wallah for no reason. Yeah. Not saying wallah for no reason. You can't, yes. Not saying wallah for no reason. It's really bad. Rather, you took this. Can you please focus? Right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, wallah for no reason is really not good. We shouldn't be doing it. But what else? Hate towards each other. Like, if somebody, like, that is really bad. If 2 people have a problem, hate each other, I think that should be stopped. Right? That should be stopped. 3rd one. Now. Being annoying, that's fine. Sometimes, but definitely yes. If somebody's annoying, then I think they should. But sometimes, that's very comfortable. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see where that leads to, right? So, slandering, right? Slandering is really bad. But there's something we're missing. There's something that we're missing. Like, for example, we know there's a challenge that we have. For example, we all watch TV, right? We all watch TV and we watch some different levels, right? Some watch a lot, some watch a little, some watch, like just watching, just keep watching, continue watching, right? And we see a lot of things going on, right? There are things that are going on, we all know that is wrong, right? When that happens, what do we do? Or when we see that, what do we do? How do we feel about it? Because that what kills our hearts. That what kills our hearts. How do we act? Or how do we encourage? Or how do we discourage one another from that? That's very important. That is the job for the youth to know. Like for example, Tariq should know that if, what is your name? If Muhammad see what I'm seeing, they will not be happy. Because they will tell me, Tariq, something is wrong. But if I see something that is so bad, then I'm excited to show it to Muhammad, that is a terrible thing. That doesn't mean that we're all going to be in the same level, but we have to be watching one another. We have to be watching one another, and we have to have that access to one another to make sure that whatever I'm doing, if it is good, I wish Salah will see and Salah will be happy. But whatever I'm doing wrong, I wish Salah not to see it, because if Salah sees it, Salah will blame me for doing it. And I'll accept that blame because it's wrong. So that takes us back to مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمْ مُنْكَرًا فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ. If you see something wrong, that's what will bring success to your youth programs. Everything that you do, if you take this as a principle, it will lead you, it will guide you, it will protect you. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, if you see wrong, change it. You have to stop it. Ibrahim, you have to stop it because you're wasting water. To stop it. Right? So we are in the hadith, you see? So we don't underestimate anything. Everything that is wrong, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if you see it, he said, what? Stop it. And he gives you 3 options. Number 1, hold your hands to the person and tell them you cannot do this anymore. If you have the authority, right? Ibrahim, stop wasting the water, put it there. I'm just giving you an example, okay? Stop, and I have changed it, right? Ibrahim put everything, and that's it, it's done. Right? And brother, you're watching this, delete this page, and then keep moving, right? And they will listen to you. فَلْيُغَيِّرُهُ بِيَدِهِ. Let them change it with their authority. Right? If they cannot, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, change it with your tongue. Talk about it. Tell them, this is not good. They may listen, they may not listen, but you have to continue talking about it. The last one is, you dislike that. You dislike what they are doing. You have to hate it. And if you hate something, you cannot pretend. Everybody has to know that this is not something that was going to work with me. It's not something that's going to work. It's going to work for me because I do not like it and I hate it. If we act that way, we will eliminate so many things, so many wrong things within us. But if we are a youth and we want to be proud of ourselves and we cover for one another, that's what I'm talking about, right? We cover for one another. We cover for one another. That's going to lead us to destruction. We have to make sure that we protect one another. And how that will work is, when it's something that is wrong, let your brother make sure that you have access to the changes of that. And if you are the wrong one, make sure that you accept the advice from your brother. That's very important. So these are the things that I want to talk about, inshallah, and I will open the questions and answers, inshallah.
Inshallah, we'll break for the next 5 minutes, and in that time, everybody write down questions on your note cards. And the table over there, there's pens and also extra note cards if you need. And at the end, leave it there, and we'll have Muhammad come pick it around for you guys. So next 5 minutes, we'll come back, inshallah, and we'll do the questions and share.
What is this? Give me Ma'awir.
Abdullah. Should I just let it run?
Huh?
Should I just let it run for now?
Just let it run, yeah.
Right questions, right? Any question? No, you have a question. You have a question. How is Umar ibn Khattab killed? See, you don't know. How is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam killed? You don't know. This question, right? You have to know these things. Write down questions. You guys have these questions? Write
So now I'm going to regroup like 4 minutes, inshallah. Remember, this time is to write down your questions for the day. Assalamu alaikum. The social area. This time is for the questions. Let's regroup. Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, going back to inshallah the Q&A. If you're gonna ask directly, you can ask, inshallah, just sit down. If you ask directly, inshallah, you can ask. If not, if you want, yeah, give it Abdullah. Then we give one direction. Direction can ask questions. If not, Abdullah is gonna read the questions and we'll answer. I observed one thing that I want to tell you. Observe one thing. I observed some people are I observe one thing, and this is not personal, okay? If you are doing it, don't worry about it. You are listening for us, you are reason for us to learn. So, that's my question, first question that I have. First question I have is, we are, and this is part of your identity. Part of your identity. Is it allowed, or, let me take that back. We have two hands, right? We have two hands. Are we restricted to eat or drink with one hand, or we are not? Are we? Because we are Muslims. We said everything that we do, if we do it right way, we are representing our Islam and are being part of our religion. Okay? And people ask you and tell them, yes, this is because of my religion. Very simple. Your actions will be your da'wah. So are we, as Muslims, restricted to eat with left and drink with left hand, or eat or drink with our right hand?
Right.
Right or left?
Right.
Okay, I see. Okay, you guys, I didn't say it. I asked and you answered. But I'll give you the proof, the evidence. So the Prophet ﷺ, as we said, whatever we do, he said all brother was drink with left.
You said don't eat though. I'm not eating.
I will keep doing that because it's part of our identity. As a Muslim, these are small things, but they are extremely important, part of the religion. As Muslims, we are strictly restricted to eat and drink only with our right hand. Only with our right hand. That is part of your identity. It seems small, it's a right and left, you can do. No, you cannot. And you have to stick with that. Till somebody asks you, well, why are you drinking with your left? Always I see you drink with your right hand. Yes, Islam tells me that. There is such a conversation. Okay? And the proof of that is the Prophet ﷺ, hadith of Nabi Salama. He said, I was very young eating with the Prophet ﷺ, and I do whatever I want while eating. The Prophet ﷺ told me, Ya Ghulam, or young boy. Now the Prophet is talking. Listen, the Prophet is talking. He's talking to a young boy, but that was a call for everybody. He said, Ya Ghulam, or young boy, Samillah. Before you eat, say Bismillah. Before you eat, you say Bismillah. That is part of your identity. You have a party, you have a gathering, you have anything. You take a bite, you say Bismillah. They tell you, what is Bismillah? Then they know a part, they know your religion. That is the name of Allah. I eat, I begin my food with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or do you just say, or if I say Bismillah, this guy will hear me, this guy will. No, you say Bismillah. Right? This is your identity. You want to eat, you eat with your right hand. The Prophet told him, before you eat, say Bismillah, Samillah. وَكُلْ بِيَمِينِكَ, and eat with your right hand. وَكُلْ مِمَّا يَلِيكَ, and eat what is good. Be respectful to the food that you're eating. Don't just eat everywhere because somebody else may eat it, but nowadays no one wants to eat somebody else left over. But that's the thing that I ask. You cannot now, going back to the hadith that we said, the Prophet said, Munkar is whenever things is against the religion. When you see your friend, when you see your friend eating with their left hand, what you should do based on the hadith? Correct them. But don't normalize it because they will never be corrected. And it's your responsibility because Allah put you together to correct them. Right? So that's the first identity within us to make sure that we fix those problems. We fix those mistakes. Right? Good.
All right, so our first question is, can men wear shorts above their knees?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, you have the answer? Ahlam, you have the answer? What is the answer? She said no. But I think your shirt is. Okay, he's defending himself. He said, if you are not praying, it's okay. That's what he said, right? That need to be clarified, okay? If you are at home, you can. But if you have to go out, you have to make sure that your knees are covered. If not, what happens? You're sinful. Like to be more specific, men can see your knee. It's just like, the hijab to the woman. In their home, they can take off their hijab. But if they go out, they have to put their hijab on. Right? So it's like your knee is your hijab. Your knee has to be covered before you go out. But at home, yes, you can do it. Okay? That's a good question. Yes?
What about sports, like soccer and stuff? People always wear shorts to play.
Even in soccer, like whenever, who is looking at you, who's seeing you? If a woman sees you with that, it's a awra, they should not. It's a awra mukhaffafa. The woman shouldn't see your knee. Who's not among the people that are supposed to see your knee. Because you cannot marry. They see your knee, that's haram.
But isn't that like normalizing like FIFA kind of stuff and all the different countries are involved in that?
Yeah, they normalize it, but that's a good question. But that means that your knees have to be covered. Yes, your knees have to be covered. Now,
Sure. Can you, because some of the kids kind of think knee, because they have description and they are going, knee is covered and the shorts are ending here at the time of Salah even and even they're sitting. So can you exactly show on your anatomy what the knee description means?
Yes, if the Salah, that's a good question. In the Salah, if anything that we call a knee exposed, your Salah is invalid. What is it? It's the whole entire thing, right? So, if that exposed in your Salah is invalid because one of the things invalid in the Salah is inkishaf al-awra, the exposure of the awra. And that is part of your awra. So the knee has to be covered. The knee has to be covered in Salah. And outside Salah also, that has to be covered, except if there's only men who are sitting, then they can uncover. It's like women, if the only women are sitting, they can uncover their hijab. The same thing applies in the Okay? Good. Good. And we have a lot of questions, so we're going to go fast. I hope it's clear. Good. Now.
This question is related to the LGBT. How do we deal with the pronouns they, them, men wanting to be she, her, women wanting to be he, him? How do we deal with this current pronoun issue?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. That's a very good question. In Islam, there is nothing called LGBTQ. You know, and we have to be, this is very important, and this is the main challenge that we have right now. And they are really knocking every door. Every door. If a person is a man, is he. Even if they don't like it, they are he. If they're a woman, they are she. Even if they don't like it. And this is where we have a problem with trying to normalize, trying to please them. It's part of our religion. This is not a social thing. This is religion. This is religion. This is aqidah. This is aqidah. And the problem that we have is, unfortunately, we have people who are very needy, who try to sympathize with them. This is not something that actually even sympathizing with them is a sin. And it can inherit the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if you go back to the history, Lut alayhi salam was a prophet. Lut was a prophet. His wife was supporting, indirectly or hiding, supporting LGBTQ. What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Lut when the angels came, Lut, you go out, you will be saved. But your wife, because she was sympathizing with these people, she will be among the people who will be destroyed. And she was destroyed because a sin of support. A sin of support and sympathizing. That's very, very important. So for us, we cannot call a man she. We cannot call a woman he. They are he or she. I'll come back to
Chair, unfortunately, in the law in Wisconsin, it's not clear, and you cannot call she or he. If a woman or a girl, she is tried to change to a boy or vice versa, you cannot call her she or he. You have to call them they or them by law. And we have this situation happened with my son Karam last year. And I have a big issue with the principal and the vice principal at a big meeting, and they assure me it is a law. So the law, you cannot tell them, and he got in trouble and he was suspended for 1 day till I went there and I clarified everything, and they told me they have to be called they or them. And they said there are 72 genders.
Yeah.
Confusion. And I'm telling you, this is, I'm telling you, I was shocked, and I had a long meeting with them. I even taped it, the conversation, and this is what I'm telling you.
This is very important. And this is where, that's why I said this is the biggest challenge one of the biggest challenges that we have. But I'm coming from the Islamic point of view.
Right.
And then we're going to talk about the law.
But the Islamic thing, if they said he or she, they might get in trouble also. That's because I'm trying to clarify that.
Yes. So Islamically, if a man, we call them he. We don't call them. If you have to call them when you're in trouble, you don't call them. You don't say he or she. And I want to clarify this here. For us as Islam, as we said, our actions are dictated by our religion. Okay? So, that's very important to understand that the law also is really doing some part of their. But right now, as a Muslim, there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this maybe not relevant, but it's very close. When people want to change khalq Allah, the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاتَّخَذُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ إِنَاثًا أَشَهِدُوا خَلْقَهُمْ سَتُكْتَبُ شَهَادَتُهُمْ وَيُسْأَلُونَ. It's very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the disbelievers, they call the angels daughters of Allah. They made the angels to be females. Inathan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ashahidu khalaqahum. Did they witness? When Allah was creating them, did Allah tell them these are female or male? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Satuktabu shahadatuhum. That's where I want to from this ayah. Satuktabu shahadatuhum. Their testimony of identifying those angels as female, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that will be recorded. That will be recorded. وَيُسْأَلُونَ. And they will be asked about the on the day of judgment. On the day of judgment. So here is two things. Number one, for us as Muslims, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ الْمُتَشَبِّهِينَ بِالنِّسَاءِ وَالْمُتَشَبِّهَاتِ بِالرِّجَالِ. Allah has cursed people, men, who try to look like women, or men who try to look like women. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has cursed those people. So these are the gravity of those people who travel. He didn't even say the people who want to be gay or lesbian or whatever. There he said, even trying to look like a woman and you're a man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put his curse upon you. And the opposite also. So, but when it comes to, brother, what's your name again? I want to watch, what's your brother? Zaman, I want to watch him and implement the hadith. What is bottle? What is water bottle here? You understand? You get my point? Huh? Okay, good. So like used to, just somebody have to be there tell you, the man, no. 2, 3, 5 times, and you get used to it. Okay, good. So now, for us as Muslims, is a very clear thing. We don't have anything that will accommodate or accept the concept or the idea of this, methodology or this faith or whatever you want to call it, right? In Islam, it's very clear. It's very, very clear. So if somebody that you see they're a man, tell them he. If they say I'm not he, I'm she, then you have to move on. Then you really have to move forward. You don't have to argue. You don't have to say something that will be a testimony, that will be recorded on the day of judgment. And you'll be asked about it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, is he, you say she. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says she, you say is he. That's very important. So, yes, to preserve the law and also to preserve your religion, you stay upon your religion. Because I think say one time we put in problem, right? I don't want, then you move forward. I think you will be in trouble if you don't call that person. Or if you don't say he or she. Right? Ahmed? So if you want to be in the picture and want to argue you are he or, this is the problem. You just say he or she. If they say I'm he and you know that they are he, move forward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said there's a laghu, there's a fawda. وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. If you pass upon it, if you pass through it, you just move forward. You just move forward. Now, another question. I hope I answered. So they have 70-something genders and all those things, right? وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. But in our religion, it's very, very simple. Actually, our religion, even with other religions, other faith, as long as what you say is beneficial, you can continue. But if it is bringing, if it is hurting somebody, then you have to move forward. You have to move forward. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, I will guarantee a person who stopped argument for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll guarantee a house in Jannah for them. Now,
Is it bad to encourage something that is good but looks bad?
is it bad to encourage something that is good but look bad? Good doesn't look bad. Good does not look bad. Everything that is good, and maybe you can see good but it's not good. But everything that is good, that the religion says is good and supported. And supported. Maybe somebody who asks this question, we can clarify more. What do they mean about, like, maybe they have something that they want to say. But good is good, right? Wrong is wrong. And when something is good, what we do is support it. And when something is bad, what we do, we discourage people from it. Right? Now,
Are fast food restaurants haram?
no. They cannot be haram. But maybe they want more. Right? Fast food, I love to go to fast food, but yeah, it's a good question though, but that's why I want people to ask. If they're right, if they have a point that they want to make. So, like for example, the meat that we eat from the fast food, for example, the meat that we eat from the fast food, from McDonald's, of course it's sugar, we don't know, right? We don't know who slaughtered those, that meat, right? Burger and all those things, we don't know who did this, sugar. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if shubha is doubtful, if you fall upon doubtful, you fall upon haram. You fall upon haram. So then, yes, but then that doesn't mean that all fast food are haram, because the restaurant initially is halal, right? But then, yes, fast food is halal as long as what they say is halal. Okay? As long as what they say is halal. But if they're saying something, if they say something haram, that haram will not make the fast food to be haram. But what they say that is haram, the haram is restricted upon what is haram. I hope it's clear. It's not clear. So this restaurant, they have fish, right? And they have pork, right? Zaman. Zaman, you see, I'm going to do it, right? You have to be doing that even at home, right? Okay, good. So, the restaurant has halal and haram. The haram cannot make the halal haram. The halal also cannot make the haram halal. So the restaurant initially is halal, right? But whatever is there that is haram stays haram. Whatever is there that is halal stays halal. I think it's clear. Now,
how about if they cook the pork and the fish?
If they mix it,
no,
yes.
they don't mix it, but they use the same thing to cook.
That becomes shubha. Because
But we don't know. When you are outside by the counter, when you order sandwich, fish, but you don't know where they cook them.
it happened to us. It happened to us. We went to the restaurant and we ordered what do you call it? Omelette, veggie omelette.
Yeah.
And we came to know that they cook it in the same, on the same grill.
Yeah.
And it become a problem because it will mix. And whatever is haram, if it is mixed with halal, it become haram because you are going to be eating part of the halal, part of the haram. That's what the problem is. So some of them you tell them, you ask them. But if you ask them, they tell you love the restaurant, you got in trouble because you have to stop it. Because you have to stop it. Now,
How do you get rid of everyday laziness?
that's a good question. Wallahi, it's a very good question. That is a very good question. How can you get rid of every day's laziness. You know, if you are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talked about those people. They will reach to a point that even the salah become very heavy on them. The salah become very, very, very heavy on them. There are three things into this. One is part of the person, they are just a lazy person, but part of it can be shaitan, that's control a person. And part of it can be something that's just temporal, can be something temporal. So the one that is part of the person, you know, that person, they may look lazy, but they are not, that's how they are, right? But the second part is where shaitan comes, shaitan will make you lazy. Shaitan will go into you and make you lazy, right? Because if you have energy using it, you may please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more and more. And shaitan doesn't want that. So shaitan will make you lazy. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ يَجْرِي فِي بَنِي آدَمَ مَجْرَى الدَّمِ. Shaitan will circulate into your veins the way that the blood circulates in your veins. So if a person is attacked by shaitan, that's one of the indications, one of the signs of a person being possessed by shaitan, then they need Quran. They need Quran. It's the only way to get rid of that. You recite the Quran more, or you recite it on your hands and wipe on your face, or you have someone to recite the Quran upon you, and you continue doing that. That will, inshallah, bring ease to you. If it is there, if it is second part. The third part, inshallah, is temporal. It comes and goes. It happens to many, many people. It happens to many people. Now, but the best part that I know, if it is shaitan, you recite the Quran. And that's what they call al-ruqya al-shar'iyya. Al-ruqya al-shar'iyya is to do it on your own. Recite, Surah Al-Baqarah, or recite Ikhlas and Falaq and Nas to yourself, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever is bothering you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take it away from you. That is very, very effective in, inshallah, freeing yourself from that laziness caused by shaitan.
So how about the dua?
Huh?
The dua. Specific dua.
Yeah. There's a sabah wal masa, but then, you do Quran is more than everything.
Is wearing a chain that is not gold halal?
No, it's not. Wearing a chain for men is not. It's prohibited for men to wear chains. Yes. No.
What are the dangers of not lowering your gaze?
It's haram, it's sinful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded that, and if we do it, then we are sinful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Muslims, وَقُلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Tell the believers to lower their gaze. If Allah says something, give a command of something, if you do the opposite, then you are sinful. It's a great sin into it, and if that happens, then you should seek repentance, you should repent, and that person should seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it's a command. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, to the Muslims, men, to lower their gaze. But He also told the Muslim women, وَقُلِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ. Tell also the women to lower their gaze. So they're all equal to this. If they do the opposite, then they're sinful. Now,
This question is related to forbidding evil. What if, no matter how hard you try, the person keeps doing the bad thing? Should you keep telling him or her to stop, or leave them alone?
no, you can never give up, because that's your mission. The worse they become, the stronger you become. You should come to continue, advising them, talking to them. Because your advice cannot give you the result, but Allah gives you the tawfiq. Allah gives you the tawfiq. So whenever you stop, like for example, I'm going to make a practical example. It was meant to give this person 10 advice for them to accept the advice and change. And you start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you said, I'm done. You only have one more left. If you could have done that, it would have changed their life. You see, you gave up. So you don't know exactly how much time you need and how much advice you need till this person changes. So you cannot give up. You have to keep continuing. But you have to use the best of your manners and your intention. If your intention is sincere, you cannot give up. Your intention is for the person to stop what they're doing. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot give up. But if you're doing it for your own, you might give up. And if it is for your own, if you're not doing it, it's even better because you won't be rewarded. So doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ahmed, look at your right, look at your left.
I'm confiscated.
Yes. Right? Whenever we speak. Come on, now he got it. He got it. He got it. So now, come on. So you cannot give up. Advising and doing good. Now.
This is regarding to joke around with your friends. Is it haram to call them names such as dumb, stupid, fat?
You can joke, but this is really bad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put it in the Quran. He said, وَلَا تَنَابَزُ بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Do not call one another names that will make others to be upset. That is haram. So if you do it, it's a sin that is between you and the person. And that sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive that sin. Till on the day of judgment, you go to the person and they forgive you. And no one will forgive anyone on the day of judgment. No one will forgive anybody on the day of judgment. So when you do that, you have to go to the person and tell them, forgive me. Then do not be a person who is known of doing that. Who is known of doing that. There are people, they are known of bullying people, calling them names. Don't be part of that. So you can joke, yes. The Prophet ﷺ used to joke with the Sahaba, but they said if he joked, he will tell the truth. He will tell the truth. But of course, you can joke to make people laugh, and to make people enjoy being around you. That's not a problem. At all. Like an old woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Ya Rasulullah, am I going to go to Jannah? He said, no. And he was smiling. And then she was so offended. She was so sad, and she turned around. So the Prophet ﷺ knew that she did not get the good joke. So he went, he said, stop. He said, it was a joke, okay? Yes, you go to Jannah, but not with this old age. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you younger, and then you're going to go to Jannah. She said, okay. So it was a joke. So you can joke around, and that's not a problem. But you cannot joke by making people miserable, ruining their day, calling them names. No. That is haram, and it's going to be simple. No.
Is it right in Islam to correct the imam's Quran recitation during the prayer because of their accent?
No. People, it becomes easy for people to correct people while they're praying. And that is it's very important. It's very, very important. Like if you know that this imam is reciting and they have a problem in their accent, and you want to correct them, that's what you're doing. You are launching a fight because you are not correcting them. You are making them to feel so bad, which is not going to allow. From the first place, when you know this person has an accent, you know it already. That's it. You allow them to lead, you follow them. But that is when a mistake is a result of an accent, right? But when a mistake is a result of ignorance, then yes, that person needs to be corrected. But a person can recite and memorize the Quran, but there are letters that they cannot pronounce. If you want to make them pronounce that letter on that day in that salah, actually you are that person himself, you have no hikmah. Actually, you have no hikmah. Your knowledge, you're sitting on your knowledge, your benefit your knowledge. So you have wisdom not to bring washwasha in the salah. Yes, but if they make a mistake in the salah, they skip an ayah and you know the ayah, or they recite the ayah in the wrong way, but maybe it was by mistake. Yes, there's something called fath. You should correct them you should help them, because correcting the imam behind the imam is to help the imam, but not to fight with the imam while they're leading you. The imam is your boss while you are praying behind them. So you only help them and support them to complete that, but not to fight them or to bring them to drag them back. Now,
Is watching combat sports such as boxing or UFC haram?
as long as the aura is not there, the aura is there, yes, the aura is there, and the aura is, that aura is between men and women, right? And that, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It was regarding like participating in sport, not watching.
Yeah, that's good. So the question now is participating, like being a boxer, right? That is not going to be halal. That's not going to be haram. It's okay, but you are responsible not to expose your aura. You are responsible to expose your aura. And also one more thing, part of this is it should not be something that's threatening your life. Yes, nah. Because it's a sport, it's allowed. Nah. But this doesn't have to be nah.
But you do like boxing or mixed martial arts against another Muslim, so like beating up?
Oh yeah. So like it's just like wrestling, right? Yes, wrestling was very, very common in the Prophet ﷺ. And yes, he did ﷺ. He did wrestle. Yes. So these sports are, as long as we have the Islamic way of doing it, like the dress has to be there. Yes. So if you don't do the dress, then that sin is on you. That sin is on you. And also, lack of the dress will not make that sport, inshallah, to be halal. Okay? Now.
Are all Muslims supposed to be right-handed? Are we not also supposed to be left-handed?
Oh yeah. That is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people are right-handed, but some people are left-handed. But even the left-handed is commanded to eat and drink with their right hand. The Prophet ﷺ one day was talking about this ayah, about this hadith, and one of the people, he said, no, I cannot eat with my right hand. And that offended the Prophet ﷺ, and he made a dua against that person, because it was so disrespectful. He said, may you never be able to use your right hand. And he was never able to raise his right hand. So it's a command. Like do you think Allah will command a person who already lost their right hand to eat with their right hand? No, you lose this one, you eat this one. If this one is hurting, yes, there's a reason why we said Islam is not a programmed religion. Islam allows the person to adjust things based on Islamic teachings. That's what they call ad-darurat tubih al-mahdhurat. If your hand is hurting, are you going to dip your hand in the soup while still hurting? No, you cannot. If you cannot use his hand, another ruling will come and take place. And then you can use your left, because there's a reason for it. Ad-darurat tubih al-mahdhurat. Difficulties will open the room for what was prohibited to be allowed. But as a principle, you cannot take it till you have the excuse. Okay? Now.
If you win the lottery, but donate all of it to the poor, is doing it a sin?
Yes, it's a sin. Because it's going against what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ طَيِّبٌ لَا يَقْبَلُ إِلَّا طَيِّبٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure, and He will only allow what is pure. So if you go against that, you're going to be sinful. You will not be rewarded, but you'll be sinful. And also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited the lottery from the first place. So you jump into it, you won, and then you want to justify for it. That's playing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
If someone part of the LGBTQ changes their name, do we have to call them by their new name?
If they change it, okay, like there is something called changing name. A person can change the name that they were given by their father. They can change it. That has to be a choice that they make. Okay, they can change that. Islamic law is change your name. So if a person change their name, you can call them by that name. But there, Islam has rulings that don't enter into one another. Like if something is halal, if something is haram, it does not make something is halal to be haram. Let's get that point. Like I said, changing a name is okay, but being a gay or whatever is not okay, right? So if that gay change their name, being a gay is gonna make halal to change the name. Get the point? Do you get the point? So this person is a gay or whatever, LGBT.
Someone named Justin changes their name to Ashley. Should you keep calling them Ashley, even though they're a boy?
Well, Ashley's a boy or girl? Yes.
Named Justin. They change their name to Ashley. You call them Ashley, or you call them
Okay, now. So they were, for example, I just bring it to the name of they are Muhammad and they want to be called Fatima. Right?
Right.
Nah.
So, Alhamdulillah, I'm a physician, I kind of deal with this day in, day out. Allah Subhanahu will know your niyyah of what your intentions are. So if a X, Y, and Z change them from Muhammad to Fatima or from Justin to Ashley, by legal Wisconsin law, which brother was saying, you have to call them what the name is. But you have a niyyah that Allah Subhanahu, this person wanted to be called me Ashley instead of Justin. You call them Ashley, and then but have in your own aqidah that what you are, because there's something as law and there's something as Islam. So we have to ensure that if you're, I want to be Ashley, okay, you're Ashley,
So,
and you do what
okay.
you can. That's what kind of
Yes. So
legally you cannot,
Islamically, there's something that is restricted intentions, but there's something that it has to be joined when you say it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows you at some point to use your intentions, but at some point you are joined by what you say. Like there are two close things here, he and she, and names. So you will not find anywhere in Islam that somebody who's he to be allowed to change from he to she or she to he. That's it. But in changing names, there is no restrictions that you can, there is no names that are limited to men or women in Islam. If I call my daughter Muhammad, am I doing something haram? No. I'm not doing something haram. If I call my daughter Abdullah or Amatullah, that's different. But if I call my daughter Umar, am I doing haram? No, it's not haram. So these are two different things. So the names, we not find a principle in Islam that saying these names are for men except Abdullah and Amatullah, right? Abdul Rahman and all those things. But the rest, they have to be boy or girl. But the rest, we don't have a restriction for it. So if a person comes with a name, it may be a female name to me, but it's a male name to somebody else. So in this case, it's not going to be haram for a person to call them by that name. Because you are not calling them that name because they changed their name from being a boy to being a girl. But you're calling their name because of the name that they have. And that is Islamic allowed to change the name. So that is different between saying he and she. Because saying he and she is confirming the gender. But the name doesn't confirm what the gender is. Now. Right. Yeah.
Alright, assalamu alaikum everyone. Jazakallah khair for coming. I hope this is all a very beneficial event for you.
What about the other question, my friend?
What was that?
I was going to protest. What about the other questions?
What is our question?
There was a list of questions you didn't read.
No, don't worry, man. Like, alhamdulillah, for this turnout that we had, we're definitely going to plan another event like this, inshallah, because I know that you guys have a lot more questions that you guys want to ask and share. So, inshallah, we're definitely going to have another event like this again. Jazakallah khair for everyone for coming. Don't worry, there is food, as promised. You guys will be friends. We promise, inshallah, it's gonna happen. But so what the plan is, inshallah, it's Maghrib time now. We're gonna go ahead and pray Maghrib together. Then after Maghrib, we'll go ahead and eat. So Jazakallah okay for coming. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions on my end, please come forward to all of us and we can talk.